Welcome to Architrave Gaming. I'm the Archmaster. Thank you for dropping by. All right. Today we are continuing our series on the character creation of my own game system, Arches and Avatars. All right. We are on chapter 2.4, which is the background. So your background is made up of your homeland, your upbringing, your profession, and life events. After we're done with this, we're going to get to your pursuit, which is essentially your hobby. It's the thing that that you can pick regardless of class, and it helps you in various ways. But we'll get to it. All right, your homeland. There are 10 options. You can roll a d10, pick one randomly, or choose one of the 10. Here's an example. Hill country. Having grown up in the foothills of X kingdom, I put a placeholder that's the one in my world. You have the conditioning it takes to climb small mountains and keep a sure footing. So you get the feature sure-footed. You have advantage on any check to climb. You got that from your homeland. You grew up in the hills. You have advantage on checks to climb. You're sure-footed. Desert. Heat tolerant. You save against heat exhaustion/fatigue with advantage. Having grown up in the scorching deserts of Alkebulon, you are conditioned against extreme heat. There you go, right? Very simple things. You're like, oh, cool. Advantage on saves against this because I grew up there. It doesn't have to be something super mega. It's just like, yeah, that's cool. Your upbringing. Outlander. Your feature is Wanderer. You have a knack for getting around. When using luck on a survival check, each luck point spent counts as 2. Cool. And you also, with all of your upbringing things, you gain a skill focus. You gain proficiency in a skill focus, right? So you gain shelter proficiency. Shelter is one of the 4 skill focuses, or foci, of survival. So, you have your survival skill, and finding shelter, foraging for food, identifying hazards, etc. I think those are like your different foci of survival. So you gain the shelter focus, so you can't roll below your level when you're seeking shelter or constructing shelter because you're just that good at survival. And why? Because you were a wanderer, you were an outlander, so you're really good at making shelter. That's why you get it. Makes sense. Another one. We'll say urchin. There we go. This is the one in 5e. City streets. You know your way around cities and towns. You and up to 5 traveling companions can travel twice as fast through a town or city and can do so undetected using your knowledge of back alleys, sewers, and seldom used pathways common to most large settlements. And you gain blend proficiency. So blend is a focus of stealth. You can stealth by hiding, you can stealth by trying to be silent, you can stealth by blending into a crowd, and you can stealth by a 4th thing. I forget. I keep forgetting the 4th of each of these foci. But yeah, you gain proficiency in blend. This is something you're used to as an urchin. You're used to blending into the crowd and not being seen, right? It's not so much like, hiding and sneaking. It's like not being seen. You blend into the crowd, right? That's what you're used to as an urchin. You grew up in a big city. So you gain blend proficiency. You want to blend into something. So anyway, yeah, there's commoner, acolyte, student, noble. I'm just going to read the names of these instead of all the features. So for homeland, rural kingdom, hill country, desert, archipelago, coastal, swamp, mountain, underground, great forest, and the fae. For upbringing, you have outlander, tribe member, transient, urchin, commoner, acolyte, student, or noble. There are 8 of those. For profession, there are 20 options. Artisan, charlatan, city watch / investigator, clan crafter, cloistered scholar, courtier, criminal, entertainer, faction agent, folk hero, guard / gladiator, hermit, knight, laborer, mercenary, merchant, sage, sailor, smuggler, soldier, or urban bounty hunter. Those sound familiar, don't they? Everything that you built your characters with in 5e is here. Okay? It's reworded in a lot of time, in most cases, the wording is greatly reduced, greatly slimified, so that you're not having to read a book and a half to know what your feature does. So many things in A&A are just simply worded. I spent a long time wording everything just so that I can use the fewest words possible, right? And of course, that's what proofreading and team members would help. By the way, I'm looking for 3 team members to help me, finish this system. But yeah. It's all very, very simple and easy, and it takes up a little bit of space on your character sheet, and it tells you exactly what you do in a few words, and it's not so wordy, like resistant to damage from, non-magical attacks. It's like, it's just so wordy in 5e. It's ridiculous. I'm not paid by the word, so I don't give you a million words. All right, we're just gonna tell you what a couple of these things do. We're gonna say artisan, tool proficiency. You get novice proficiency in 1 set of artisan's tools of your choice. Journeyman at 6th level, adept at 10th level, and you gain item proficiency. Item is a skill focus of assess. When you assess, you get assess items, vehicles, structures, and keep forgetting that fourth thing. So yeah, you gain a focus in items. So you're an artisan. You look at items all day. You craft items. That's your thing. Whenever you make an assess check to assess an item, you can't roll below your level because you're good at that. You're practiced. This is something you've been doing for a while. It's part of your profession. And then lastly, life events. There are 12 of these. Inheritor, haunted one, sole survivor, saw a vision, almost ritually sacrificed, imprisoned, met a monster, saved, lost a loved one, lost a home, escaped an abduction, or sick. So yeah, you have a sickness, and each of these have a positive and negative. If you're an inheritor, you are wanted. Some people are chasing you, trying to get that item, but you also have a cool item. For sick, yeah, you have a sickness that's not good, but people flee. So if that's a good thing for you, it's like, hey, I don't want anyone near me. Maybe you want to be a thief or a bad guy. People flee from you because they're sick. Cool. Imprisoned, you have a criminal record and your face is known, but you also have criminals' respect. Like, hey, I know you're a criminal, right? That might prove useful. Those are optional. Okay, now we're getting to pursuit. We're making good time in this video as opposed to the last one. All right, your pursuit. I currently have 7 options here, but I intend to have 8 or 10. It has to be an even number because you have to be able to roll for it. So yeah, we have apothecary, blacksmith, chef. No, it's not a whole feat. It's a whole bloody thing with 10 features. Each of these pursuits have 10 features. You get them all in levels 1 to 10. There's healer, herbalist, minstrel, and rune carver. Let me pick one. If I was doing this live, I could ask which one y'all wanted to see. I really liked doing that live stream. I'm gonna do more live stuff. We're gonna say blacksmith. Real simple. A lot of martial characters pick this one. All right. First level, you gain novice proficiency with smith tools, and you are able to repair leather, hide, and iron weapons and iron plate armor with 1 use of smith tools. Cool. At second level, you can sharpen iron weapons. You can make your iron weapons +1, or reinforce leather, hide, and iron armor. Make them +1. You can actually, as a blacksmith at level 2, give yourself a +1 sword and +1 armor, right? In my system, because your HP is so low, the whole like balance thing where 5e, they pretend they're trying to be perfectly balanced. Make sure you never give them a +2 until this level, and never give them a +3 until they're at least 15th level or some nonsense. It's like no, you can have these. You get a +3 before 10th level, right? You can upgrade your armor and whatnot to be +3, your weapons and armor before level 10, right? Because you have so little HP, you have like 20 HP, buddy. You're gonna need it, right? And you can do it for your own armor, for your allies. Like you can just upgrade stuff. It costs money. Like so every time you use your tool, the tool has a certain number of uses. For now it's 10 in my playtest. So it takes 3 uses of it to upgrade something. So you can only do that 3 times before you have to buy another set of smith tools or replenish it, etc. So it's like it's all balanced and whatnot. It's not just free forever, and you have to actually be able to go to a settlement where you can buy another one. So it's not just like you have it unlimited in the wild. There are only so many times you can do it. But another thing why this, +1 and later +2, +3, why it's not broken is because I have weapon and armor degradation. When you get a nat 1 on your attack, your weapon suffers a -1, right? So if you have that +1 sword where you've sharpened it and then you hit it and you get a nat 1, you dull it, now it's not +1, it's back to regular. It's like, cool, right? You didn't break your sword, you just took off that sharpening. So these aren't permanent upgrades, right? It's really not that overpowered. But martials still really like sharpening their weapons and buffing their armor. It's really cool. All right. Level 2, reinforced leather, hide, and armor. All right, level 3, able to repair scale, chain, and steel weapons and plate armor. So yeah, you can actually repair your own stuff with this. Of course, it takes up uses of your smith's tools. 4th level, journeyman proficiency in smith's tools, which means +4 to all your checks instead of +3. And the ability to use a forge to create leather, hide, and iron weapons and plate armor for half the item's value. So at level 4, you get the ability to actually make a certain type of stuff. Now, you may be hearing me say iron, scale, steel, and you're like, okay, that's not in 5e. 5e just has longsword, right? I liked Elder Scrolls, and I put weapon materials in my system. They're actually there. A weapon and armor. You can wear scale armor, iron armor, steel armor. They actually are different. It's a really elegant system, really simple. It's not complex. It's not like you have 14 million different things. I'll show it to you in a minute. Actually, I'll show it to you next video probably when I get to equipment. But it's not complicated. It's actually really simple because I found a way to make it simple because I'm not Wizards of the Coast. I didn't have to make it complex. I made it simple. All right, we're going to keep going here. And thank you for sticking with me this long. Like and subscribe, feed the algorithm, all that stuff. All right. Level 5, sharpen iron weapons to a +2 and steel weapons to a +1, right? So if you want to use the lamer weapon, the iron stuff, iron weapons can't be enchanted. They're just too mundane and dense to hold enchantments, right? So if you want to use iron, you get a +2 to your attacks, to your damage, actually. You get a +2 to your damage. Yeah, it's not attacks, it's just damage, actually. That's another way it's not overpowered. These pluses are just to the damage itself, not your attack. But if you want steel, something that might be enchanted, you can only give it a +1 because you're not good enough yet, right? All right, level 6. This is where you enter tier 2. In my system, the tiers actually make sense. The first 5 levels are a tier. The next 5 levels are a tier. Then the next 5 levels are a tier. And then, oh, wouldn't you know it, the last 5 levels are a tier. 4 tiers, 5 levels each, 20 levels. Wow, imagine that. Basic, simple symmetry, math. Instead of 5, it's like the first 4 levels are a tier, and then you have 6, and then you have 6, and then you have 4. It's like, who came up with that? So yeah, at level 6, that's when like, all right, you're a big boy now, right? It's in level, like in 5e, level 5, you get your multi-attack, your extra attack, you get fireball, 3rd level spells, you get all your fancy stuff at level 5. In my system, you get it at level 6. You have to cross that threshold of the first 5 levels of being a newbie, and now the next 5 levels of knowing what you're doing, right? All right, at 6th level, you can modify weapons. This takes 5 uses of your smith's tools, where everything else previously has just taken like 3 or 4. So yeah, this is so fast grip, spend agility to attack an extra time. So you can put the fast grip modification on any weapon, and now when you make your attack roll and you spend your effort and attack, you can spend agility to just attack the second time. And that stacks and combines with every other thing I've talked about with combat. It's like you put fast grip on it. I got these ideas from playing Fallout 4. I was like, ooh, you can modify weapons. Ooh, fast grip lets you, like, whatever fast grip did in Fallout 4. I was like, that's cool. I'm using that in my system, right? So I take all these little things. That's not complex. This isn't like it's a +2 in this circumstance and a -4 over here. It's like there's no math. There's no complexity here. It's just spend agility to attack an extra time. Really simple, right? All right. Battle grip. You cannot be disarmed of this weapon while conscious. That's kind of nice. Hardened blade. Attacking a specific body part ignores the attack penalty. I'm going to have to fix that later because I don't have the attack penalty. Serrated blade. Surplus does max damage. That's pretty good. If y'all know what surplus is, I might have to tone that one down a little bit because that's really good. Maybe like your first surplus die does max damage. That's probably better. All right, level 7, repair Aquanite armor and bone or chitin armor. You have the ability to do that now. 8th level, you have adept proficiency and the ability to use an advanced forge. So there's regular forge and then like special forge, advanced forge, to create scale, chain, and steel weapons and plate armor for half the item's value. Now you can create steel. It's pretty good. 9th level, sharpen iron weapons +3 and steel weapons to a +2. And again, that's just the damage. All right, 10th level, you can modify armor. 6th level, you can modify weapons. 10th level, you can modify armor. Lightweight, you get +1 AC with that armor. You just modify the armor, make it lightweight, get +1 AC. Hardened, +1 DR. Reinforced, +2 DR, but armor counts as 1 weight category heavier. Which means you get -1 AC. So yeah, +2 DR, but -1 AC. It's a balance. Or extra straps can carry an additional 4 small or 1 medium item from the torso. That'll make sense when I get to carrying capacity and whatnot. Anyway, that's what you get from Blacksmith. Apothecary has 10 features of their own. You can make elixirs and whatnot. Chef has things that, it's essentially the chef feat from 5e, just expanded. Like, what if you could do this and this and that, and just a whole bunch of stuff. And none of these are final, right? I know that there are lots of creators who have gone out and made whole subclasses and a whole bunch of stuff, probably for blacksmithing and apothecary and chef and whatnot. It'd be nice if I could, find those PDFs and look at what they did and draw inspiration and take ideas. So this thing is the best it can be. Because, I could come up with it myself, and then I could look at other stuff and be like, oh, I wish I had done that, right? I want this to be the best. I want this to be the collection of all the collected wisdom, all the collected ideas and innovation that we've had over the last 50 years and put it in one system, right? I don't want to, healer, herbalist, minstrel, and rune carver. Anyway, we'll get to equipment next time, inventory, encumbrance, durability. We might even touch on tonics, which are, essentially Fallout chems. And hopefully we'll be able to get to weapons and armor. We'll see how much we can actually do next video. These are getting long. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Thank you to my patrons, and yeah, you can join Patreon for only $5 a month, and you can join our Discord to talk about philosophy, game philosophy, and Lord willing, one day when I actually have a high enough tier on Patreon for people to get access to part of the PDF. We can actually have play tests, and you can actually play ANA, hopefully sooner rather than later. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, feed the algorithm. God bless.